Okay, I'm still going. I think it'd be fun because I know there'll be one coach in Texas who will give it a try. Okay? Imagine Friday night, they just won the big game. Coach like, all right, everyone, please gather around the 50-yard line. Please bow your heads. Lord, I just want to thank you for allowing us to win tonight's game. And truly praise Allah for that perfect defense. And just letting the love of Zeus provide us with strength for tonight's game. And like 40 minutes go by, he's still going. He's like, Ra, I felt your presence on the field. Shout out to you, Buddha, for friendship and fellowship. We thank you. Tom Cruise. Amen. All right, my man, Sarah Riley. Thank you guys so much. One more time for Sam. Sam Riley, here for the vote. We're going to bring up our headliner next, but before we do, we're going to go over the rules again of the voting. Can we turn that down? I make sure everybody hears it. It's really important to go over the rules. Remember, right? Rank your comedian. Your favorite comedian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey! Please, this is important. These guys deserve your vote, so we need to make sure the voting is right. They worked really hard. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Rank them. We'll go back and run the votes while your headliner's up here. We're going to bring up Kathy Brennan, ladies and gentlemen. She is a Springfield comic. She's based out of Springfield, who's best known for telling hilarious stories, which may or may not be true. She got her comedy started when she retired from her state job, and she figured that comedy was easier than learning how to crochet. Please welcome my good friend and one of my mentors, Kathy Brennan.
Thank you, Paul. And that's true. Writing jokes for me is easier than learning how to crochet. And I didn't start doing this until after I retired. Nobody saw it coming, especially my poor husband. He is not what he thought retirement was going to be like for us. He's with me tonight. Give the poor man a hand. Yes. Especially since he is the source of most of my material. Thanks, honey. I really appreciate that. You know, comedians, I really still get a kick out of how surprised people are when they find out I do comedy. You know, a comedian's most treasured moment is when they tell a joke and the punchline is such a hilarious surprise that somebody spits their drink out. Well, I had a lady spit her drink out on me just because I told her I did stand-up. Well, I get it. It's just this way I look. It's my appearance. It's this conservative older white lady look I've got going on, pretty much since I was 5 years old. I look like a lady who feels like she's cheated on her husband if she eats a Cracker Barrel about it. That lands, doesn't it? Because it's true. It is true. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, honey, it won't happen again. I brought you some biscuits. I promise it won't happen again. I look like what you would get is if Elizabeth Warren, Billie Jean King, and Timothy Chalamet all had a kid together. And the reason I say 3 people is because we got different ages, and I'm hoping you'll know at least 2 of them. And people think I look nice, too. I just look like a nice little old woman. I always have. Strangers smile at me and I don't even want them to. It's like, leave me alone, I'm not that nice. I mean, just last week, I parked in a spot reserved for new and expectant mothers. And shucks, that is not nice. But then I can't get away with it. I feel like people are looking at me and they're judging, and I'm like, oh, what? So what? I parked in a spot reserved for new and expectant mothers. How new is new? I am a mother after all, and I expect my kids to call me on my birthday, so that's expectant. Also, by the way I look, people just assume I'm a teacher or a librarian, right? I get that. In fact, I did a benefit for a school one time, And after the show, somebody said they really did think I was the librarian coming out there to tell them about the update, that the fundraiser was going to achieve. But I get tired of that because people don't understand. I'm wild inside. I just can't help the way I look. I'm really wild inside. I mean, it happens all the time. I went to get my nails done. I was getting a pedicure. And the technician looks up at me, because he sees a lot of people and he thinks he knows things. And he looks up at me and he goes, "You a teacher? And you're not done using it yet?" You know what I mean? Yeah. I said, he didn't like that joke, so I don't want to think about it. Well, I said, okay, I'll just keep moving. No, she comes over to my house and she says, "Campy, why does it smell like Febreze in here?" I go, "Well, Connie, I guess that's because that's how Febreze smells. If you have a problem with that, why don't you just call 1-800-FUCKOFF? She sees my new soap plant over there in the corner. She goes, "Campy, is that plant real?" I go, "What plant, Connie?" Just messing with her, right? Yeah, I was on my back deck, and she comes all the way around the house and finds me on the back deck. I'm just trying to have some peace and quiet. She goes, "Campy, I've got a brochure I want you to look at here. I'm selling essential oils." "Oh, Connie, I don't think I need any of that. I'm looking through it." I go, "These are expensive." She goes, "Oh, no. Look at page 35. There's something that you and Mr. Brennan can use. It'll spice up your love life. An oil you can spray in your bedroom." I go, "Connie, that's really too personal. Besides, Febreze works just fine for me and Mr. Brennan." After 49 years, he knows how to get me in the mood. You want to know how he gets me in the mood? No, not really. Well, yeah, but just it works at any age, honestly. He unloads the dishwasher without being asked. I'm not that dirty. Well, the dishes are dirty. They were. Now, somebody said my husband was macho, and I didn't see it, really, because when he subscribed to Playboy magazine, he just started on page 1 and read all the articles. So, every word of them, too. But when I got to thinking about it, I thought, there are a couple things he does that are kind of macho. In fact, he did one of them today when we were driving up here from Springfield, which means he rolls the windows down all the way on both sides, my side too, without me being asked. And I feel like Nancy Reagan, I need to be putting a scarf on my hair to keep it from blowing off. Well, the other thing, and of course he puts his arm out, which is really macho, isn't it? Yeah, that's a guy thing, it is. And with some of these vehicles, you kind of go like this, but they'll still do it. They'll still do it just like their daddy did, But, and the other thing he does, which honestly I think is hot, when we go out to eat, there is life. As you get older, there is. When we go out to eat, when the server is bringing the check, he just puts out his credit card like this without even looking at the bill. It's just like, he's the man, I can afford it. I don't have to look at the check. When we go out to eat with our friends, Ted and Lori, they'll be sitting across the table from us in their booth. Ted and Lori are huddling together when they order. They gotta check it out. They're gonna share the entrees. We never do that. He always gets the cheeseburger and I get the stuff. But no, they share the entrees. And then when the check comes, they're back to the huddle. He's already done this thing, and they're back to their huddle. looking at the check, making sure that, getting out the phone to figure the tip exactly, asking for the menu again, just to make sure that that salad was really included, or should it be an upcharge, just going on, and by the time they paid their check, and I'm like, I got me a real man. I bet Ted never rolled the window down all the way in his life. I am retired, which means I spend my days driving around, avoiding eye contact with panhandlers. I don't know, in Pekin, maybe not so much. No.
Springfield, we know.
Springfield, we know. They have their corners, yeah. I think they hire somebody to cover their corners for them. But anyway, avoiding the eye contact and looking for speed bumps because they feel pretty good if you hit them just right. I mean, we've got a municipality in Springfield named Leland Grove, so are you familiar with that? Yes, yeah, Leland Grove has the most speed bumps of any per capita. It's a municipality in Springfield that has the most speed bumps per capita of anywhere in the state, and I just kind of made that up, but it makes sense that it would be true. And I think they know they feel good because now they're calling them speed humps. Driving through Leland Grove is like speed dating without having to talk to anybody. They're just so much pleasure in that. I am not kidding. We have a street called Cherry Road in Leland Grove, and yes. Have you seen the sign that says slippery when wet? I'm not kidding. Next time you're in Springfield, look for that. There is a convent not far from Leland Grove. Anybody can go dry humping whenever they want. The nuns can check out the van and go dry humping on Sunday afternoon with nobody the wiser. They go back to the convent singing, "The humps are alive." The Mother Superior says, "Why do I have to keep changing the shocks on the goddamn van?" Oh, brother. People ask us, what's the secret to our long marriage? Well, laziness is one thing. But also common values. We both love cats and Dairy Queen. That's enough to hold a marriage together. It really is. It really is. And they say, well, what do you find to talk about after 49 years? We talk all day long. As soon as we get up, it's, where's the cat? What's the cat doing? Have you fed the cat yet? It is work. Relationships are work, though, aren't they? I mean, it never stops. You have to keep working to get along. And we've had our ups and downs, and we really have. And there have been times where we've been tried. And honestly, I do think a lot of couples stay together out of laziness. Because he and I would go down to the basement and look at all the crap that we have accumulated. And how much trouble it would be to split it all up. Yes. It's too much work. So we just go back up into the second story of the house on the cul-de-sac and go into separate rooms until we cool off and until one of us just comes out and says, "Where's the cat? I'm hungry. Let's go to Dairy Queen." It just adds another 10 years to the marriage. What can I say? It works. Yeah, I didn't start doing this till after I retired. Do we have any other retirees in here? We wish? Yeah, you'd like to. They're probably all home watching the Weather Channel. Yes. Which is what he would like to be doing. Because we drove here while the tornado siren was actively going on. And he just thought, we better just turn right back around and go back to the Holiday Inn Express. And I said, no. We keep going. And as soon as we got in the door, and did you know there is a basement here? Yeah. We made sure of that so he could stay. Now I got myself sidetracked. Oh, singer-songwriter. Oh, retired people. Yes, retired people. There is at least one person with gray hair. In which place in my set, I will say, thank you for wearing a clean shirt. Because we all know retired people who have a favorite shirt. I don't know, I mean I sure do. And then we have a favorite shirt for every season of the year. And since we have 4 seasons here in Illinois, I will at least change clothes and wear clean clothes 4 times a year. I mean, I will put on my favorite shirt, and then if I go out, I probably will put on a clean one, but one day I was just like, oh, screw it, and I went to the dentist. And you know how they pull that light, the tech pulls the light to look down in your mouth, and when she did that, I looked at my shirt, and there was a big old blob of dried on food on my favorite shirt. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that was there. I thought my cat got that. We finally got a king-size bed to make room for the cat. And we also got a memory foam mattress to help us remember things. We take it to the store to help us remember what we want to buy. And we'll take it to parties to help us remember people's names. You know, he said, Kathy, I don't remember when's the last time we had sex. And I go, well, I don't either, but ask the memory foam mattress. It'll know. But I'm good, because I drove through Leland Grove today. Don't worry about it. You know, we got married in the late 70s when women's liberation was still kind of a new thing. It kind of, you know, was in LA and Chicago, New York. It hadn't quite sifted down to the Midwest yet. So we still have pretty traditional gender roles. That's what I want to say Mr. Brennan and I do. Although I do like to say I'm a boomer feminist, which means that I will wash my husband's underwear. But if he throws his boxers and socks down the chute inside out, they will come back the same way. Yeah, stick it to him. Yeah, I used to turn everything right inside out, fold it neatly, and it's like, fuck this, not doing it anymore. I'm free. Well, I mean, he buys the tools that live in the garage, like the mower and the weed whacker, and I buy the tools that live in the house, like the blender and the vibrators. Really, he does the yard work for the most part. But during the pandemic, he took a notion he wanted to make instant pudding, and that's not suggestive. That's really true. He wanted to make an instant chocolate pudding. He had been an engineer as a profession, so I think he thought if he just read it and followed the directions, what could go wrong? But see, I had to teach him what whisk meant. Yeah, this was before YouTube, so he didn't look it up. He was just going like this with instant pudding. pudding, you know you're not going to get anywhere with that. And I said, honey, I like a slow hand just as much as the next person. But sometimes you got to speed it up to get the job done. Well, he does mow the grass, but I like to trim bushes. Oh, no, not that kind of bush. We got married in the 70s. We didn't do that kind of landscaping. The only thing we waxed was our 73 Ford Torino hardtop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, no! I mean, we had shag carpet too. I mean, because we had to do the hard work. I'm sure you've heard about it. We had to walk through that shag carpet to change the channels on the TV. We didn't have remote controls. But between the shag carpet and the 70s bush, y'all, we were able to find what we were looking for. You young people are pussies. Hair equals testosterone, in case you didn't know it, or hormones. But anyway, back to me liking to trim bushes. Literally, I really do enjoy it. We had some big old bushes out on our front yard that needed trimmed. There was an evergreen right in the middle, and these two bushes on either side were crowding the evergreen. And I took it upon myself to buy a good electric powered trimmer to trim those bushes. This was the first time that I had bought a tool that was going to live in the garage without consulting my husband on how to do it or how to put it together. I did the research myself. So that 12-inch Kenmore I've been using just wasn't doing the job anymore. I had decisions to make when I'm doing the research at Menards on what I want to buy. So I'm like, well, do I want it to be about battery powered or plug-in? And how long do I want it to be? Because after all, I've been satisfied with 12 inches for 40 years. How much more could I take without falling off a ladder? So I got my big old fucking power tool and I charged out there and I'm like, yes, I am woman. And I just got those big old bad boys into two balls with an evergreen coming right up between them. And I went out to the curb and I go, hey, neighborhood association, what do you got to say about that? Hope it wasn't against the rules. I didn't date much growing up. My first boyfriend said he was attracted to me because I had a bad complexion and I didn't seem to let it get me down. You can't make that shit up. No, how much time you spend writing, you cannot make that shit up. Yeah. I took 4 years of Latin so I could speak to ancient Romans. And, when I was 15, I had my first car date with my Uncle Fred. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't a real date because he didn't have to buy me dinner first. It was Thanksgiving, and Marguerite made a turkey roast. No, nothing bad happened. We were in a deserted school parking lot. It was supposed to be a driving lesson. And you know, I do see a therapist, but I've never told the therapist about this. I just use it in comedy. But, Uncle Ted, we stopped the car and he just looks at me and he said, Kathy, you know, you are becoming a very attractive young woman. And I'm like, well, I guess I should have been complimented, but honestly, I did prefer the Uncle Ted who played wiffle ball with me. After I got home, I was walking the dog, and the high school quarterback jock drives by in his car with his hot cheerleader girlfriend sitting by him. They're in a convertible, and he yells out, "Hey, which one's the dog?" Oh my gosh, his girlfriend looked like she wanted to crawl into the car. I actually felt sorry for him. And my comedic mind at the time, at that age, really did think, well, the dog doesn't have a big ass and zits. You know, you should be able to tell the difference. Don't feel sorry for me, because I always win. I always do. Because I think about now, I still think about what could I have yelled back at him? And I think I have the answer now. I think it is, yeah, well, Uncle Fred says I'm becoming a very attractive young woman. How we doing on the tally?
Ready to go, baby. We're done.
Okay, I'm just going to do one more story.
Please, do as many as you want. As many as you want, you're killing.
Oh, I will close out with this one more story then. And I honestly don't mind getting older. I really don't. As that time frame gets shorter and shorter, I'm like, yes, I'm not going to have to deal with reclosable cheese packages that much longer. I always win. No, what I do miss though is having PMS. I'll tell you why. Because PMS is the one time that a woman can be certifiably insane without risk of institutionalization. Because by the time they get the paperwork done to get you committed, you're over it. And they just got to start all over the next month. And you hear them on the phone with the priest saying, well, Father, I guess we're not going to need that exorcism after all. But we'll keep you on retainer. We might need you next month. With PMS, some women, you know, they respond differently. Sometimes their brain thinking is kind of fuzzy, but mine got sharp. I was witty. I mean, I said really sharp, kind of cruel maybe things that I normally wouldn't say, thank God, or would have had no friends if I was like that 30 days every month. I mean, for example, I was dating a guy, and we were just getting to know each other, and I remember exactly where it was. It was on McDonald's on MacArthur Avenue. It isn't even there anymore. And he said, talking about himself, he said, you know, sometimes I'm like this, and sometimes I'm like that. And he goes, I must have a split personality. And PMS made me say, you don't have enough personality to split. Oh, honey, but I got to know him, and it was cruel, and it wasn't true. It was really a nice fellow. So I slept with him. For 49 years now.
All right, I just want to say this. Those of you that enjoyed the show, we had some great comics tonight, but if we brought Kathy back for another night, would you guys come? I want you guys all to keep that commitment because she deserves every penny. She's amazing and she's been such a good friend. And I just love you so much. I told you guys, we have the best show in Central Illinois right now. We're making people nervous. We're making people nervous of how the support you guys are giving. Please, one more hand for Andrea. You guys have no clue what she does every day. every day. She works her regular job. She runs this business. She's out in the morning mowing with her crews. She is the epitome of what a human being should be on this planet, not just to her business, but to her friends. Please, one more hand for Andrea. So you guys ready to hear how it turned out? For starters, we now have the largest payout for an amateur comedy contest, thanks to you guys. The pot has grown to $705 to the winner. And we have 3 more shows. So it's just going to keep growing. And please bring your friends out. Get your friends out, talk to your friends. Get your friends out.
What was that?
So, explaining again the vote system. The votes is points, so we announce the points, and the points are weighted based off of the crowd and everything else. We got a really good program, right? And right now, tonight, first and second place was split by only 5 points. That is a first, second, and third place vote shaking its ass like a Peoria hooker. I mean, it was just all over the place. So it's virtually a tie, and we were only going to announce the top person, which is what we normally do. But would you guys mind if I brought both of them up for it? Because they've also moved into second and third place in the competition because of the way the voting is. So I'm going to bring up the guy that got the second place votes, which by no means means second place in my mind. Bring up Sam Riley. And before I say this, third and fourth place votes were split by only 6 points, and there was only a 9-point difference between third and fourth place and first and second, which that's just one first place vote. That's how close it was for voting. So right now, our point winner for tonight, and your guys' choice for favorite comedy of the Comedy Clash, Mark Anthony. I just whispered in his ear, you said black man can't win in Pekin. I've been following this young man around, and I've been doing shows with Sam for a year and a half now, and I'm telling you, these guys are going to be stars, and you're going to get to say you saw them here for 10 fucking bucks. I appreciate everything you're doing. Thanks for all the help. Spread the word. Let's get the rest of the comedians back up here. Come on. Riley. Chris. Gregory. And Rowan. I don't want to forget. I want to tell you, Rowan, that's the first time I got to see your set live, and dude, I can't wait. I'm going to travel to see you, dude, I promise. I'm going to travel to see you. All you guys are doing. Chris, great. Right? This guy came in here for a beer on Wednesday. And we said, hey, one of our comedians backed out. And he's like, oh, no. And you did. You told some great fucking jokes. One more hand for Captain Brandon. One more hand for Andrea. One more hand for Mashies. Support your business. And give yourself a hand. Thank you.
Woo, and one for Dan the Bam Taylor for sponsoring us. Hey Taylor, get your cards detailed. Sorry, I had to do that plug.
Stick around, have some drinks. Drink this bar empty tonight, guys. Let's go.
Excuse me.
Is that your wife?
It is. Kathy, yes.
She was great.
Oh, thank you very much.
She is so nasty.